$6 million for a mansion, and the statement that Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation released said that no, this is a space for creators. This is a space where people can come and unwind and relax in our 6-bedroom, 6-bath mansion in the valley with an indoor pool. You know what I mean? It's like, but $6 million would have went a long way in the actual hood. I'm sure $6 million would have went way further in Compton than it did in the Valley. And that's bullshit to begin with. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gerard, with your story, because I don't know whether or not to laugh or cry. When
I don't know why Biggie's playing in my head right now. All I'm hearing is Ski Mask Wave with the ransom note. That just keep popping in my head, man.
That's funny because I heard DMX's Ski Mask for it, baby.
You know what? And I also got DMX's y'all been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Keep real, partner. Give to
Let's keep going. Let's handy up.
The importance of political education, man. Because I mean,
goddamn diamonds.
Man, look here, man. Look, man, listen, if I could run around the way I want to on some revolutionary shit, a lot of y'all be mad and a lot of folks would be tucking their chains. I'm gonna just say that. You know what I'm saying? You definitely will be running the jewels. Because you ain't gonna be in no $6 million house talking about you doing some type of little community thing and the community's not invited. And that's just one of the houses. So come on now.
That's my question. I'm like, is this house for the community? Can you get to it on the bus? Or do you need a car to get out there? Because if it's not public transit accessible, then I don't think it's for the community.
Man, listen,
when I saw Patrisse Cullors on her do that Mark Lamont Hill interview last year, they did what I'm seeing happen in this article too, which was this framing of the critique of BLM and their behavior as a right-wing media issue. I'm sorry. You know, and then the one reference to left criticism was some vague reference to Marxists who would be critical of Patrisse, you know, and her spending and whatnot, spending choices and whatnot. But it you know, so anyway, I don't have that much to say about the story. I haven't read it thoroughly, so it's just
well, I have lots of questions for Kalonji as an organizer, because I have the questions here, Kalonji, because you know what's been alleged obviously is that they pulled in $90 million in donations in 2020, and then we're kind of seeing the irresponsible ways, I suppose, in which some of these monies are being spent in the form of this $6 million mansion. A number of BLM local chapters signed a couple of letters demanding more accountability and financial transparency. But Kalonji, like some of the criticism about BLM Global Network Foundation and the way that they move is that they emphasize more so digital engagement and fundraising and trying to move people, you know, towards, you know, linking up with foundations and other power brokers, and less engagement on the streets, on the ground. Why is digital organizing perhaps less effective or not as strong as actually getting into the streets and trying to organize people face to face?
I think it's a double-edged sword. For one, I would say that I don't necessarily knock digital organizing altogether, because of the fact that even with what we're doing right now, we're able to reach more people, masses, so on and so forth. I prefer face-to-face. Why? Because of the fact that you can deal with any contradictions head up, straight up and down, right in the face. You got to face what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So the accountability and everything is up close and personal. Online, you could pop that shit and keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? You can go back in your $6 million mansion and don't have to say anything. But when you're walking through the streets of Harlem, when you're walking through the streets of Chicago or LA or Oakland, Atlanta, anywhere, you have to, you know, folks are going to question you. They're going, hey, man, you got $90 million. What's going on, man? You riding through here in this $300,000 car.
Tesla.
Yeah, and we hungry out here. What's the deal? Right. You know, so, but like I said, it's safer. It's safer when you are online, and it's, you know, you can be as irresponsible as you want to. You can just pop up and claim other people's shit. And it's a lot of that going on. And it's not just BLM. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of other organizations who even knock BLM, who I see doing the same type shit. And a lot of these folks, unfortunately, you know, we're in a strange time, a strange era. We're in an era where folks want to call themselves quote unquote revolutionaries, but at the same time they want to appease. They want to not step on any toes. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because of the fact that they want to act like it's some all-inclusive movement. I'm not with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Our position is this. We respect the white left for what you do, right? But you don't run shit. You know what I'm saying? You can come on board, you can get down with what it is, whatever it is we doing publicly, but you don't run shit. You fall in line. I don't give a fuck what you read. I don't give a fuck where you came from. When we talk about our people's struggle, as the comrade says, we are the OVs. We're the original victims of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So we feel it's only right that we lead ourselves up out of here. But when you have trash like these folks right here, who are basically sticking folks up and are using white guilt and all that other shit to empower themselves, then we have a problem, and it should be questioned, and folks need to shut that shit down.
How do you do
I think
that,
you're all being unfair, though. I think you're all being unfair because these women, as the story says, were gathered in person, not digitally, not virtually. They were gathered in person to sit in front of a house that's 6,500 square feet with more than half a dozen bedrooms and bathrooms, several fireplaces, a soundstage, a
parking
pool,
for 20
and a
cars.
bungalow, and parking for 20 cars. So,
I am
just
being
to be fair,
unfair.
but they were in person. They weren't online when they had that meeting. They
Yeah.
sat there on that patio in person. So
they were in person with each other. They weren't in person with you or I. They weren't in person with Kim, and they would never be. And it's unfortunate. We know a lot of these folks that are involved in some of these pyramid schemes. You know what I'm saying? These grave robbers, and I call them grave robbers because of the fact that people were being murdered, people were being assassinated and brutalized and terrorized, and you motherfuckers are making a buck off that shit. I think that shit is an atrocity. I think it's criminal, and I think that they should be charged with ancestral treason. And I think that folks need to step up because we can shut it down. But the problem is we're in these little ass spaces, and we're not confronting these folks. We have to be wherever they are, wherever they at. We find out they got a $6 million house, just like you boycott in front of the governor's mansion, boycott in front of their mansions.
Let me shout out to Ferguson, though. Ferguson has been on this. Anytime one of those, grifters come to town, Ferguson shows up to shut shit down in St. Louis. Like, Ferguson don't play that shit. Ferguson remembers, you know what I'm saying? Ferguson remembers every single phony face that came through there in 2014, 2015, grabbed a bag and dipped, and ain't been back to Ferguson since. So, yeah, that there are people out there who will confront these folks. The problem is when they move in $6 million neighborhoods, they are less likely to be confronted by the community because the community of which they claim to serve ain't where they live now. It's not in a zip code. So how do we shut them down, Kalonji? Is it just a matter of discrediting them amongst our peer circle and amongst our professional groups? Like, man, don't fuck with BLM. They not really on the up and up. Like, how do we accomplish this?
Start with the grassroots organizations that co-sign them, because none of this shit can exist without someone co-signing them. You understand what I'm saying? So sign with the traitorous motherfuckers amongst us. They're saying they're cool because of the fact that within movement, within any serious structure and organization, you have to be able to, you have to have some type of backstory. You have to have some type of resume. So who's co-signing for them? Start with them. You know what I'm saying? Remind folks, you the one said, if I bring someone to the platform that turns out to be the police, you understand what I'm saying? Then it's my responsibility because you co-signed for them. You understand what I'm saying? You said they was cool, so everyone followed this person because of you. So we start with on that particular level, and then have them denounce them.